Okay, well, I guess we can get started. So I will just introduce a little bit about what this webinar new program is, who I am. So I'm Alexa Norris. I'm the director of the mentoring program. I work for OpenTug, and we're really excited just to see how the program has been growing. We have a lot of big plans this year. I won't give too much away, but we definitely want to make it very much easier for everyone to be engaged, organized with topics for people to talk about, and just kind of keep everyone in the loop and engaged with their mentors and proteges. So this is one of our first steps. So this is our new series called Mentoring Circles. We plan to do it every 1 to 2 months and kind of have a specific theme, target potentially different job functions within the industry, and have mentors share their experiences and give proteges the opportunity to ask questions to different mentors that maybe aren't their own. Obviously you're a little bit limited with one mentor, so hopefully you have a great one and you're getting a lot of insight, but this is just an even greater opportunity to ask any questions and continue to get that insight. So we have some really great speakers, and thank you, Caitlin, for helping to organize it and moderating. So I'll pass the baton over.
Thank you. So my name is Caitlin Dunckel, and I'll be the moderator today. I've been in the marine industry for a little over a decade in the sales role. I am currently the lead for government new construction with the Hiller Companies, which is a fire suppression and detection company. And my career actually started in the military, so to be back on the government sector of sales is really exciting for me. I joined WIMOs in about 2022, and I've been a member of the mentoring committee pretty much ever since I joined WIMOs, and I'm honored to be today's moderator. So I'm going to give each one of our panel members a few minutes to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with Sandra.
Hello, good morning. It's so great to be here, or good afternoon to some of you, and be a part of this wonderful organization. I am a 32-year employee of National Cargo Bureau and Marine Surveying, and also part of HAZCheck. And I specialize personally in billing and collections. And I also have another role. I'm also a psychology doctorate, and I am a career coach, and I specialize in helping people figure out what it is they want to do with their career going forward, picking a career, manifesting the kinds of careers they want for themselves based on their values and their talents. And it's just really great to be here and talk to all of you.
Thank you, Sandra. We're very happy to have you here. Lina.
Hi, ladies. My name is Lina Garcia. I am a structural engineer. I am the vice president of engineering for Orion. It is a maritime construction and design company. I've been with Orion for about 2 years now. I've have over 15 years of experience designing port terminals across different regions, from the Gulf to the Pacific to the Atlantic, some of the Caribbean and in Central America. So I've been working closely with different ports, terminals, and different types of logistics, and from bulk terminals, container ships, to even Navy jobs. So I work with the Navy on different submarines, terminals, dry dock, the shipyards, and have a lot of great experience also on the Caribbean, from different hurricanes forces to seismic design, all around vessels and all around port terminals. And I'm happy to be here. Great that I was invited to this panel. I've been with WIMOs for 4 years now, and I've been part of the mentor program since it started. I'm really excited to see how we can help and mentor other younger females out there in the maritime industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you for being here. LeighAhn, would you like to go ahead?
Hi, my name is LeighAhn Pepin. I've been in the maritime industry for about 15 years now. I'm a graduate of SUNY Maritime College in 2012. I worked for Military Seal Command, so I sailed with them for about 9.5 years, and I sailed up to master with them. And then I went shoreside for about a year and didn't enjoy it, so I went back to sea. So, I currently work as a mooring master in the Gulf of Mexico with AET. We specialize in lightering operations in the Gulf of Mexico, Brazil, and Uruguay currently. So that is what I do.
Thank you. I have to
yeah, this is the first time I'm working in the mentoring group and my first year with WIMOs.
I was going to ask, what did you miss the most when you went shoreside?
I'm actually just the freedom, I guess, and doing like specializing what I do. That's pretty much, just the ocean and working with different people,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you. Very happy to have you here. Hillary.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Hillary Franke. I've worked in the maritime industry specifically for dredging for 17 years. Currently, I'm the Director of Operations for Encore Dredging Partners. I have two degrees. I have a degree got from Texas A&M in construction science, and I have a MBA that focuses on strategic accounting from the University of Houston. I also am the executive secretary in my no spare time. I am the executive secretary for WIMOs, filling some really big shoes from April Hope. If y'all have met April Hope before, trying to fill those big shoes that she wore for many years. I juggle a really busy life. Outside of work, I'm married with two kids that are very active. They think they should sign up for everything. So part-time taxi driver away from my work. And I love to cook, and I like to bake bread, and I like to travel. So I really don't like downtime is the kind of the theme of my introduction, but I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited about this panel. So thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Hillary. I have to just say my son just turned 16 and I got him a car because he deserved it and he earned it. Now I never see him. So
Gosh.
as painful
wow.
as having to drive the kids around is, I literally never see him anymore because I used to drive him everywhere and now he doesn't need me anymore. So I'm kind of jealous of you.
I'm inching towards that. My oldest is 13, so she'll be there soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen before you know it. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. So we're going to start with some mentor reflections, pretty much going through the theme, what I wish I would have known 5 years ago in career decisions, some mistakes that you've made, lessons that you've learned, ways to build confidence as a female in a male-dominated industry. But to keep it a little bit more guided, I'm going to go through and ask everyone, starting with if you could go back 5 years ago, one piece of advice, what would it be? And feel free to go off topic, ladies. You each have time to discuss as much as you want, but I leave you with that thought that if you could go back and give yourself five advice from 5 years ago, what would it be? So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Sandra.
So that is such a good question. And for me, it actually would go back even further than that, more than 5 years ago, because my career is so long now and I'm really heading into retirement. But the number one thing would be to use my voice, to be authentic, to be genuine, and to believe in myself. I didn't really operate under that premise during this whole time. I think it was like by the seat of my pants, some survival at times. And I think being more mindful, being more intentional, being more thoughtful in decision making, and letting that be a guide more than fear. So that really is the number one thing for me, being mindful, thoughtful, genuine, authentic, and listening and using my voice. There's
And when
nothing
you,
more fun.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
And when you say authentic, you mean to like what you truly want for yourself?
Yes. Yes, what you
Yeah.
want for yourself and going after it. Having ambition. Really, it's ambition, it's drive, it's focus, being more goal oriented. Like earlier on in my career, I wasn't really that, not at all. And it's developed over time, and now it's really strong. And then as I am in the end, and I know that my time in the working world is coming to its sunset, I'm being way more deliberate in my choices as well.
Yeah, it's time goes too fast and it's too big of an industry to stay compliant in something that you're really not truly happy with.
For a lot of people, I will have to say I've been very fortunate and very lucky, and I've had a wonderful career with NCB. So nothing but gratitude and appreciation for that. But even yet within that, it spills over into other areas of your life. And mostly it's applicable to my other part of myself as a career coach. So, because that is really nuanced, and a lot of evolution with that, and having to stay very current and knowing what's going on in, career and hiring trends and such things of that nature. But the focus of doing what you really truly love, what you're good at, what drives your creativity, what drives your passion, that's it. You need to move towards that. You need to move in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much value in those words. So being at this stage in your career, what is one thing is there anything that you feel like you're still learning or that you are working on for the next step in your career?
Are you still talking to me?
Yeah.
Every day, all the time, staying relevant, staying on top of what's happening. Things are evolving and growing and moving with AI, with technology. So you have got to stay on top of that and be willing to learn new things. I mean, when I started my job, I was typing invoices on carbon paper and having to white it out. And now it's like, it's AI, it's generated by itself. I have to stay on top of it. But when you look at just those 32 years, how things have changed, it's huge in communication. All we had was landlines, and we had an answering service. And, now everything just, text me, just send me an email. I know I'm dating myself, but
Technology moves so fast. I'm in the same boat as you are too, and I try to stay on top of it, and I still feel like I'm 10 years behind.
but that's it. You just have to be willing to keep growing, evolving, learning, and staying with it, not getting stagnant and not being afraid. Some people are afraid of change. I embrace it. Let's go. Show me the change. Let me see how I can move with it. Let me see how I can grow. Every year at the beginning of the year, I think to myself, okay, how can I be better at the role that I have? I'm always focused on that. How can I bring more to this? How can I bring change to this within my own role? So
Yeah, and that's a good point to remember for those that are leaders or are new in a leader position or want to be leaders, how valuable it is to, remind your employees things that they can do to be better in their careers. Because I mean, that's what everybody's goal should be, to achieve that and constantly be moving towards the next step. And as leaders, that's something we should be doing to help the younger folks along the way.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Lina, I'm going to go ahead and pass that over to you. Thinking back on, and when we say things that we wish we knew 5 years ago, that's a very broad statement because I don't even know where I was 5 minutes ago. But just career decisions, mistakes, lessons, things to help you build confidence, and then staying on that focus. If you could give yourself advice 5 years ago, what would it be?
Thank you, Caitlin. So 5 years ago, I think the best thing where I remember being in that time is that I was thinking that to prove myself was to work really hard and just to do technical work and just be, showing up every day. I mean, I love what Sandra said is for sure like something very important. And at the same time, I went kind of with the opposite. I was too concentrated on goals and I was very technical, and I didn't fully understand how important the relationships and how to mentorships were at the time. So I was just doing it myself. So I think, oh, I can do it myself. I don't need anybody. I just work hard. I'll be on my own silo. So early in my career, I was just kind of very focused on just developing my own self, very eager to move on to the next step. But, I didn't even know how to do it, right? So I learned that over time, like the careers that are not built alone. You need to surround yourself with other leaders, with other mentors to help you shape based on their experience. That really helped me through my years. So that's something that I feel like maybe like 5 years. I think I should have. I mean, I wish I would have known like 15 years ago. Something that really helped me move away from like, okay, I'm not in a silo. So yes, I mean, one of the things that I wish I knew too, it was to take on things that I feel a little more uncomfortable at first, just to heads on and say like, okay, I can do it. I just go learn on the way, and I learned confidence through change, through over time. So it's not that I was able to speak like, very strong at the beginning of my career. I started learning, and I learned that confident now is different. I was thinking on the beginning of my career, it was like confident is knowing the right answer. Okay, I know what to say, so I feel comfortable. So I did prepare myself a lot, and I was thinking that was the way to lead like with confidence. And now I see it completely different. I see it like more like asking questions, listening to people, continue learning from others. So it's completely different perspective of what I believe confidence was 5 years ago to what it is now. So, but I've been learning still. I mean, that's something that, I keep learning every day. It's not that we stop growing. And I love what Sandra said, like, it's just being flexible, learn with the things that are coming to you and work with a strong community and work with the mentors, work with the leaders, and keep yourself up to date. And that's what I would like wish I knew 5 years or 10 years ago. Same way that I could be more proactive on in like relationships and learning from others, and not just be so silo into my own skills, if you would say so. I think that's pretty much my closest statement. It would be just do not wait until you feel ready. Just jump in some opportunities, and don't be like Sandra said, don't raise your voice, or I mean raise your hand, talk with your voice. Here your input is important in a table. Ask questions, build relationship, get mentorship. I mean, for me was what definitely changed my career trajectory, by learning from others and listening and being able to be flexible through time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more that mentorship, and like I honestly didn't even realize how much I needed it until I joined WIMO. And I was like, this is what I've needed for such a long time. But I love you sharing the evolution of confidence, because, it seems like such a singular word, right? Like confidence is confidence, but no, it evolves too as we grow and we learn, and we build our confidence in different ways from different people and different groups. That's wonderful. Thank you, Lina. I appreciate that. So I'm going to take it to you, LeighAhn. Oh, I'm sorry. Lina, were you trying to say something?
No, thank you. Sorry.
Okay. LeighAhn, I'm going to pass it on over to you and give you just a few minutes to do some reflections, what you wish you would have known 5 or 10, 15, whatever years ago. Any career career decisions, mistakes, lessons, things that you did to help build your confidence? And if you could go back and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
I definitely have a different take. I have a shorter career than everyone else in the room. So mine was 5 years ago. I definitely had a crossroads moment. 5 years ago, I was changing careers. I was moving around from going from deep sea to shoreside to back to deep sea. But I would say that at that time, I would say I made it to myself that the choices that you make are, like the negative comments, people may tell you that you shouldn't be in the room, that you're an imposter, that, you know, push it all aside, that, the choice that you make, the path that you chose was the right one. And you need to choose that path and go down it. Life, all choices that you make, it's not always going to be the right one, but you need to set that to yourself, and that's going to be your guiding life through all the chaos. And
Mm-hmm.
every choice you make, good ones, bad ones, it's the natural flow of life. There's going to be good and the bad, so that's, that belief will become your guiding light through the chaos you find yourself in, and you have to continue on with that. So I just tell myself that, inside and out that you made it, and you have to push all the negative comments aside because that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and some of the scariest things that we do are, the biggest risks that we take are the most rewarding.
yeah, and that's for me, I made the biggest leap for myself was I was at the peak of my career at master of a vessel, and I was being asked to leave that to make a choice to go to another career by um a random person who called me one day. So how can you give that up?
Mm-hmm.
You have to just take a leap of faith.
Yeah, well, and you're such a great example of it because you took a leap of faith, went shoreside, and then you were just like, you know what, this isn't for me, and you went right back to where you were happy. So,
Mhm.
no love lost there. You can at least say that you tried it and you didn't miss an opportunity, whether it was, for you or not.
Yeah, and all roads lead back to, good places if you try hard enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Thank you, LeighAhn. Uh, Hillary, career decisions, anything that you would have done differently or a piece of advice that you could have given yourself over the past 5 years? The floor is yours.
Thank you. I would just love to say I resonated with every answer before me, and I had pivoted my answer because I was going, okay, I wanted to talk about integrity of self, and then I said, hey, 5 years ago I was under a big career change, and then LeighAhn took that, so I'm going to pivot one more time my notes, and they did an excellent job. But so I'll go a little more practical because I could mirror everything that everybody just said. And but one of the most practical things advice that I would give myself and somebody gave me was to try to keep a journal, a working journal. So this might be more practical than philosophical, but that has helped me a lot. And I actually have a drawer full of them behind me that I go look at every once in a while and kind of put myself back in that mindset of what was going on years before when I thought it was really crazy, or they were just, not only just to recount things from a business perspective, but just to go back and see, how were we thinking? How was I thinking? What was my mindset? And it really helped shape the way that I can kind of leave work at work and get it all on paper. And sometimes it's not professional, sometimes it's just rambling thoughts, but being able to not take it home and really just focus on self rather than prioritizing business all the time. And probably multiple women on the call here, dredging is 24/7, and so the business I am in actually happens all day. So being able to have a stop gap and say, I've got to stop, I've got to refocus. Journaling work items has really helped me. So that is one thing I would say if I was to give that piece of advice. I would go for that. Yeah.
That's really interesting. And I do apologize about you being last on the
No,
list
it's fine.
because I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, man, I should have switched that up because, everybody had so much good stuff to say. I'm like, I hope that Hillary's not sitting there like, crap.
Oh, I was. I was like, well, all right. Well, all my notes that I had was like, well, that's been said, that's been said. And then I just knew that nobody had an acquisition or a major career change exactly 5 years ago this month. And LeighAhn did. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pivot again. I embraced the challenge. This is great. So
Beautiful.
good.
Keep flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hillary, so what made you start journaling? What gave you that idea to do that?
In all honesty, it was a lawsuit that I was in the middle of with work. And it was a lawsuit. I mean, not personally, but the company was in a lawsuit and I needed to go and get relevant facts and information from years prior. And I didn't have anything that I could reference other than, emails that I had sent or thoughts. But as far as the fine level detail, it didn't have any. And that is what got me started in it. And then, working, just keeping a daily professional journal, it transitioned into a way for me to not have, I guess I can, when I leave the day, I can leave thoughts. I'm using a pen, right? I don't use a pen anymore. It's all digital, but I can leave my thoughts kind of at the door and pick them up the next day. And it kind of just lets me get it out on paper and get out the door. I had a boss that did it, and he's the one that transitioned from a have to a want to. And it just kind of helps revisit, especially, I'm sure I'm not the only one that goes, I don't even know what I did last week. I can go back and say, this is what I did. This is what I did. So, yeah.
Nice.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you, Hillary. So we do have a few minutes. I know that there was a question in there, Angelica, if you wanted to address that question, and then we can get started with the Q&A or the guided mentorship.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a few questions on the registration forms, and we do have one from Kate in the chat. Hi, Kate. We saw
Kate.
that you asked, how would you recommend one finds a role that they really like and want in the beginning and middle of their career?
I'm happy to take that one. It's a process that I have clients go through. And I also want to mention that anybody on this chat here that would like coaching, I'm offering free coaching to anyone. So feel free to DM and I will get started with you. But the process is to go through an inventory, and I have you look at all the things that you enjoy doing, that you're good at, that you excel at, that you're interested in, that you've done prior to this day and have been successful at, and take a full inventory of all your skills, talents, and gifts. Read your resume. Look at everything that you've done and that we're great at. And I cannot tell you how many people underestimate just how great they are, because I listen to it, people downplaying who they are and what they are. I don't allow it. Don't do that. You are fabulous. You're fantastic. You have so many talents, gifts, skills. You utilize them, use them, put them to good use, go after things in that area. So that's it. Just take an inventory of what's really going on with you. Look at what you've got going on. That's it. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to add to that, but that's how I go about it. And after
That
4
sounds great
weeks,
for mid-career. What would you suggest for, new people entering the workforce, high school grads, college kids?
same thing, but more about theoreticals, because they don't actually know yet because they haven't done a lot. So, but still, their interests, their skills, their talents, what they're interested in, what motivates creativity within them, what is it that excites them? It's the same. Just the process is the same, but it's just at the very, very beginning. And there's got to be trial and error. They need to try things. They need to do internships. They need to go get jobs entry level and see if they even like the industry at all.
Mhm.
So it's a longer process, but it's basically the same, just at the very, very early beginning stages. I love to work with high school students and college graduates at all levels. All levels.
Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, sometimes you just don't know until you try it out. So that's really great advice to just go out there
Yes.
and try it out
Thanks,
and
Sandra.
internships.
I will put it in the chat, my contact.
Yeah, and we can also follow up with an email. That's a really great offer, Sandra. A lot of our proteges come to us looking specifically for career advice jobs. So that's really great to have you as a resource. And if you're okay with it, I'm happy to share with all of our proteges. So
Absolutely. Yes. One of my goals for the year was to give more coaching away. I just want to give it away. I just want to help. Just want to be there. Organizations like this are key, central, vital to women's success. These didn't exist when I started 32 years ago. We were kind of on our own. And so now that they're here, I want to make sure that I do my part to give to it and to keep going with it for the duration. I'm here. I am here.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
you put-
Sandra.
You're
So
welcome.
we have another question that's been submitted that asks, at what point in your career did you finally feel like you belonged in the room and what helped you get there? For any of the panelists that would like to take this one.
What, Hillary, do you want to take this one
Oh,
since
that's a
you
hard one.
oh man, I put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. No, I would say it's been more recently. Out of the 17 years, I would say it's been probably the last 4 or 5. And I think it's just due to time. I really do. Not that I don't think I felt like I belonged in the room, but I felt like when I was in the room, I was learning more than I was teaching. And that I've been given the opportunity now after 15-year mark or even the 12-year mark, that I could kind of go the other way and start teaching the role rather than just learning and listening in the room. That would probably be the pivot point for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes with confidence too, right? Like the people that you work around, if they're good, healthy mentors and leaders, then you will feel more like you fit into that room, right?
I would say the rooms were always welcoming. But I always was chasing the bar to say, oh, I'm gonna be able to give more in the room, right, rather than receive.
Yeah. Thank you, Hillary.
Another question we have in here is, how has shifting roles into different maritime departments or positions affected you as a person?
LeighAhn, would you mind taking that one?
Yeah, sure. So how is shifting roles in different maritime departments affected you? I think it's given me a lot more respect for different areas for people. So I come from ships. So I started on cargo vessels. So I worked on the bridges first, and that was a lot of navigation. So going from there, I respected, what they did there and working there. And I think working with those crews, it was, how do I say this and everything? When I was working on there, it was a lot of just hands-on roles, and a lot of people didn't want to give me a lot of physical work as a woman. They didn't want to give you a lot of hard work and everything, but I wanted to show that a woman could do physical duties and they could do hard labor. And the men around me at the time didn't want to give a 110-pound, 22-year-old woman a physical job. And it was a lot of, and when I spent several years doing that non-physical work, I wanted to shift my duties and work, you know, on the cargo deck, driving fork trucks, driving cranes, you know, doing, you know, physical work and showing them that I could do that. And I had to show them in the room that a woman could do that. And so it was I had to take on the role of shifting their perspective of what a woman could do. So,
Yeah.
and it took 2 years for me to do that. And I stayed on the same vessel with the same crews to do that. And then, so you have to do it. So, yeah.
It reminds me of when I was deployed overseas. I had to do some very manual labor to start my days off. And when I would go to work the next morning, the Army guys that were right across from us would do all that stuff for me. And I would get so mad about it. And my boss, who was a guy, was like, they can come do my work if they want to. Like, why are you so mad that they're doing your work for you? And I'm like, that's not the point. It's because it feels like they're saying that I can't do it, you know?
Yeah, it felt harsh because at the same time I was missing out on promotion opportunities then.
Yeah.
Because then I was being looked for promotions from a watch officer to navigation, vice watch officer to cargo officer. And then I was missing out on opportunities to move to tankers to other cargo vessels within my company. And then people who were my juniors were receiving promotions to other vessels. And then 5 years later, I was stagnant because I couldn't, because of my physical limitations that people were seeing that I didn't feel. So
yeah, you were being limited, and it wasn't even something that you were consciously doing to yourself.
yeah, so I had to work that much harder around me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, LeighAhn. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the moderator questions. And then if we've got time at the end, we can continue to go through the Q&A, or for anybody that can stay after. So the first question that I've got is for Ms. Lina. What is one thing you believed about your career 5 years ago that you see differently? And you kind of touched on this a little bit already, so I apologize if it feels like you're reiterating, but please feel free to reiterate if that's the right answer too. So what is one thing about your career 5 years ago that you now see differently?
So like now I see difference, and I said it before, is most of it is be able to not just to feel or needed to be fully ready before taking bigger roles, and just be confident of my own experience, and know that the growth comes after you step into these opportunities. You grow into the opportunities with your mentors, with your network, with the people around you. So I see that differently now. I wish I knew that before, but that's kind of like one of the biggest changes that happened to me, was by believing in me. Even like I didn't have to know all the answers right away. I had to learn to be uncomfortable, right? Learn how to step on things that I don't fully understand, but believe in myself that I can get the answers, that I can learn from others, that I can shift things around, and I can have my perspective change, and also be able to be more flexible around my opinions, be flexible around the opportunities, and also be flexible around how like the technology is changing so much. So that kind of really was something that I see different now, that I can use that as a tool for me to keep growing and to learn from others and to learn from myself as well, that I can take on different roles, even like I don't feel fully prepared or I don't have all the answers. I'll find a way to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great, a great input. It makes me think too that like especially if you've got you know, somebody that's leading you, encouraging you to take the next step or encouraging you to pivot your career, they wouldn't be asking you if they didn't believe in you. You know, I mean, sometimes they just want to give you more work, but for, you know, for the most part, they're doing it because they already know that you've got these skills that you might not see in yourself.
Exactly.
Hillary, what decision or lack thereof, non-decision, has had the biggest impact on where you are today?
Question. I at one point in my career, I was working for a company that I just kind of knew would not be the place for me. It was a really tough environment, was a tough work environment. And I was kind of ready to just kind of call it quits, kind of move on. And an acquisition had set itself up quickly, kind of when I was reaching a breaking point. And you know, my plan was to leave, and the new company, I stayed through the acquisition. The new company really wanted me to stay. And I know at that point I was a little over 10 years of my career, and I had the confidence to just take a pause and say, you know what, I'm going to think about this for myself instead of from the eyes of have to or need to. I'm going to think about this for myself and make sure that I can set boundaries and get what I want out of a new role at a new place. And so I did choose to move forward with that company, but it was in a manner that I did have some terms for what I wanted to see when I got there. And I think working at a company that I wasn't happy with helped me establish those boundaries of going, okay, I want this, I would like to see this, or this is what I'm worth. I know my value, I know what I've learned. And so having that tough decision just at the beginning of a new role at a new career, that really had the biggest impact because I'm still at that company to this day, and it's been very great experience. And I think it did get established with knowing exactly what I wanted to see, rather than I've only made two big jumps. So the first jump, I didn't know. I went from a company that I'd worked for almost 10 years to a new company, and I didn't have those conversations about what I wanted or what I wanted to see or how I wanted this role to fit for me. I ended up having it at the second jump, and it worked out really well.
I'm great. That's great to hear. I'm glad that it worked out for you, because it's like what we were talking about earlier, those, you know, those really scary next steps, you know, can be your greatest achievements
Absolutely.
and really fulfill you. Thank you, Hillary. Sandra, are there any skills or experiences that you wish you had prioritized earlier in your career? Oh, Sandra, you're on mute.
Yes, yes, indeed. I wish I had finished my education a lot sooner. I didn't graduate until 2009, and I was way deep into my career at NCB by then. But and saying all that, it all turned out the way it was supposed to. It went accordingly, and really no regrets. But I do wish I would have finished getting my education a lot sooner, so I could have had more time working in that arena as well, and had more time to perfect those skill sets as well. So if there is anything that you need to do, if you need certifications, education, degrees in order to get what you really want, don't hesitate, do it, get it done. Because the sooner you get it done, the sooner you can get to where you really want to be. And then the other thing would be networking as a skill set and knowing how to present yourself, you know, the elevator pitch, or just how to talk about what you do and what you like and what's important and why you're there, and making connections with other people, reaching out to other people, forming relationships. So many important things happen at events, networking events. Deals are made, relationships formed, uh, jobs are found. I joke about, the meetings in the bathroom. You run into someone in the bathroom and all of a sudden there's all of you are in there and you're talking, oh, I know them and I know them. And
Uh-huh.
it's really important. It's to know how to introduce yourself, talk to other people, and reach out and talk to someone that has a connection that would be helpful for you. But start off by offering something first. See, here I am teaching networking. And then, going from there.
Yeah,
Talk,
brings up
talking.
that's a great point, because you never know,
Yes,
when that person is going to have, have an opportunity for you, or,
you don't.
when you're going to sit in a mentoring circle with people that you met completely unrelated to WIMOs. So, yeah.
Completely.
Thank you, Sandra. LeighAhn, what is one mistake that that ultimately taught you the most?
So I'm still pretty young. I'm only 36, but so when I was 26 years old, I had one of those moments of like listening to too many people, which caused a lot of underconfidence in myself. When everyone's giving you advice at that age, you should do this, you should do that, this would be great for your career, and then you become so underconfident in yourself because you don't want to fail them all. So
Hmm.
at that stage in my life, I missed a promotion. Went through a horrible breakup. I got kicked out of a house, so I had to move back in with my parents. So I had to I had to make a choice in my life. Do I continue on with a failure and start listening to everyone, or do I turn this around? So I had to take that, and then I changed, what if I fail to what if I grow?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just I decided I want to grow. So
Hmm.
within that 1 year from 26 to 27, I got a I got a new house, I got a new car, I moved out, and I studied as much as I could. I upgraded my license from second officer to chief officer. I got on a vessel, and 4 months later I got my promotion. So it's one of those things of you have to, you know, you have to make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that is give us all that energy. I love that. And with
yeah.
that, I'm gonna pivot, since we're kind of running out of time, and I wanted to make
Mhm.
sure that we really got to the confidence and boundaries portion of the question. So Sandra, I'm gonna give it back to you. What did confidence look like for you? And I'm gonna go back and saying, like, from early in your career to where you are now.
So I can say that I didn't have any confidence really when I started off, uh, at all. I I'd say I had a big chip on my shoulder. I would say I was scared. I was overwhelmed. Um, and so it took a lot of time and growth and development, belonging to other organizations, that the central aim was to build the self-esteem of women and confidence and growth, and then through reading books on negotiation tactics and things of that nature, learning that women, when they are negotiating or advocating for someone else, like their children or another family member, or, tigers, mama bears, whatever, and not so much for themselves. And I just thought, no more. I'm gonna give that back to myself. I'm gonna advocate for me like I'm advocating for somebody that I care about.
Yeah.
So my confidence grew from the realization that again, where I started from the beginning, you have to use your voice, you have to stand up for yourself, you have to be authentic, genuine, speak up. It's not easy. It's actually scary sometimes, but nothing gained if you do not.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Talk to yourself the way that, give yourself the advice that you would give, your kids or a stranger or whatever. Have that faith in yourself too.
it just really stuck with me because if it's for my kids, get out of my way, right?
Right, yeah.
But for me,
For you, it's
oh,
different. Yeah.
yeah, I said, no, this can't go
Yeah.
on like this anymore. I need to advocate for myself like that too. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, ladies, when you're going
Yeah.
into negotiations and meetings and whatnot. Negotiate like you're doing it for the entire world or your family or your children, and take that force with you.
Yeah.
So it's that evolution, a long process, but it came from having aha moments like that where I'm like, oh, hold on a second here. Why am I not advocating like that for myself? So confidence looks very different because it used to be more of an outer thing. How do other people feel about me or think about me? And now it's from within. How do I feel about myself? Am I grounded? Am I centered? Am I at peace? And then
Yeah.
whenever I walk into a room, I take that in there with me.
Yes. I love that energy. Hillary, I was going to ask you a question next, but if you don't mind, I'm going to pivot over to Lina because we haven't gotten to hear from her in a while, and I'm afraid we're running out of time. But if we have time, I'm going to jump back to your question, okay? Lina, what advice would you give to somebody who is navigating through imposter syndrome or having self-doubt? What advice would you give to them?
So, as you know, I know many of you, and I feel it at some point. You feel like you don't belong. But the important thing is remembering that you were invited to the room for a reason. Just finding that reason that gives you the authenticity and say, okay, I'm here because I am part of it. Don't just feel like you're not part of it. Just look around, and you are invited to that room for a reason. And when you think about that and you put that perspective in there, you start belonging to it. You believe that you are part of it. So at that point is take it and feel the energy and feel your own energy, understanding as well of why you're there and how you got there. And that way everything comes a lot more clear.
Yes, thank you, Lina. Hillary, I think we got another minute. I'm going to go ahead and pass that back to you then. Are there any boundaries that you wish you would have set earlier in your career?
I believe everyone probably at some point was going to sacrifice who they are to portray who they probably needed to be in a situation, and so just holding fast to like who you are, with the truths that make you you. It's probably more that came with age and time than it did right at the beginning, because at the beginning of my career I probably did do things where like, oh, this is what you need, I'm that, yeah, sure, and it probably wasn't. But the older I get, I think it's, just easy to say that your integrity is everything and how you treat people is everything. Um, Three things that I do like to hold back now is, every decision that I come to, if I'm stuck or if it's something that's difficult making a decision, I always ask myself, is it fair, honest, and correct? Those are three things that, I have to get 3 check marks. So that just establishing that baseline moral guide of this is who I'm going to be, no matter what. If it's going to not be fun to deal with the right answer, you'll be remembered that you dealt with it correctly rather than the impact that it made. So that's what I would say. I wish I could have set that earlier in my career.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Ladies, you are mighty and powerful and brilliant, and we are all stronger together. I can't thank you guys enough for participating, for sharing all of your thoughts and trials and tribulations. It's incredibly empowering, and I thank you guys so much for being here.
Kate, thank you so much for organizing this
Thank you.
panel discussion and for just really leading this charge. I think this is something that shout out to Alexa, just taking that initiative to really see a vision and try and bring people together for this mentoring program. I think that's what's so lovely about WIMOs, is just having that opportunity to connect with other women across the industry. And in this webinar platform, we're able to come from Wisconsin and Tampa and California and Texas to be able to learn from each other. So we definitely plan to have more mentoring circles. Hopefully once a quarter is our aim. So please keep an eye on your email. We have so many exciting updates and other initiatives that we're wanting to launch for the mentoring program. We had so many great questions and topics that came up on the invite form. So thank you so much for everyone who included those. We will take those as points of consideration for future webinars, like different career advice, how to be a good mentor. One that was definitely really important was, has anyone experienced sexual harassment in the workplace? And if you have, how have you navigated that? So these are all great topics and points of conversation as women, as leaders, as proteges or mentors or both, because we are always learning and growing as things to consider. So thank you all so much for your time. Thank you for your involvement. Thank you for showing up today. We hope you have a great Wednesday.
Thank you. I got to go get a journal and journal about my day.
I know we did.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.